Hi, this is Kelly. I'm with Unity Catholic Federal Credit Union, and today we're going to talk about buying a car. I've got a lot of great tips and ideas for you to use while buying a car. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen. So I always like to review the documents that are in the packet so that as I'm referencing them, you know what's there. So this first one is just a list of resources. You can't have too many resources when you are shopping for a car. It can be pretty overwhelming. Second sheet is just different options to consider. Some are going to be, on that vehicle. Maybe you want to build a car and get the things that you are interested in, but you also want to know kind of what your options are, right? And then when maybe you're looking for a used vehicle, this sheet is really great because it gives you the ability to kind of have a checklist. Did I look at this? Did I like it? And then you can compare car to car when you're looking around. Okay, so here's our seminar. Take the wheel, get the best car deal. So the things that we're going to talk about today are figuring out how much car you can afford. You don't want to get yourself into a huge car payment if that's, half your budget. Using the checklists, dealing with dealers, negotiation, buying used, the benefits of that, and what your financing options are, and warranties, and maybe add-ons that your dealer might be pushing. Okay, so before you make any big purchase where you're going to want to obtain credit, it's always good to know what your credit score is. So you can get that for free. You can, if you're a Unity Catholic Credit Union member, then we have Credit Sense. It's in home banking, and it will give you your Vantage score, which is very comparable to the FICO score that most financial institutions use to help them make good lending decisions. So are you making your payments on time? Do you have any things that shouldn't be on there? You want to make sure that you're reviewing your credit report so that you know where you're at before you start shopping. It can even be pretty disappointing if you can't find the perfect car and then you can't buy it. Check your budget. Think about all your income, list out your variable and fixed expenses for monthly, and then you want to keep your overall debt obligations below 40%. And let's not forget about the added expenses, not just the cost of your auto loan, but we've got license registration, gas. Right today, gas is under $2, but who knows? Could be $4 tomorrow. Maintenance and repair. Especially if you are purchasing a used vehicle, you're going to have a lower car payment, but you may experience more, repair or maintenance things. So you want to make sure that you budget for those, taking that all into account so that you don't get into a car loan that is more than you can afford. If you've got a down payment, that's always great. Take advantage of rebates. And all of that. Every dealer, every car manufacturer is going to have a little bit something different. So you want to find something that's just right for you. It's an exciting time, but you want to make sure that you're doing something that will fit your life and your budget. So we always recommend come into the credit union and getting pre-approved. You don't have to come in. You could do that online, and we just ask you to mark that a pre-approval. And that will give you an idea of what your rate's going to be, how much you can get approved for, and it helps you to be in control when you're out there negotiating with the dealer. So you want to keep that pre-approved amount to yourself, but know how much that is, know the rate that the credit union is going to offer you, so that you can then compare the dealer offer to what the credit union can offer. I'm going to say 80% of the time, the credit union is going to beat the dealer offer, even if it's not at the rate. There are fewer fees when you finance with the credit union. Okay, so some things to think about. Obviously, we want a good, reliable car. But what does that mean to you and your budget? It could be a new car. It could be a used car. So we want to know, what kind of things are important to you. Like, for example, fuel economy is really important to me. I don't need a fancy car. There are a couple features that I really like, but having something that is good on gas is really important to me and my husband. How big does it have to be? Now, I haul a lot of things for work, so I need a larger vehicle. It can't just have a little, get around the city car. I need to have something that I can haul stuff to events and that kind of thing. How long do you plan to keep it? Now, some people keep their car, 10, 12 years, maybe even longer. But what do you like to do? It's always nice to be able to purchase a vehicle, get it paid off, and still drive it for a while without a car payment. Then you can save that money, build up a little nest egg. That's always, so satisfying. But maybe you're going to lease. Maybe you're going to buy. It doesn't matter. These are all the things that you want to consider, regardless of how you're going to finance it. SUVs look great, but do you really need that size of a vehicle that is going to, maybe not fit in your garage or cost you more in gas than you need to? Again, we always want to be going back to our budget and what we can afford to purchase. So the internet obviously is a wealth of knowledge. You just want to go to trusted sources. Educate yourself. We are big review users in my household. So you want to, become familiar with types of vehicle, years of vehicle, especially if you're buying used, because, if 85% of the reviews say, oh, I had a problem with the fuel pump in year 2, then you can pretty much guess that that's an issue on all those vehicles. So maybe you want to steer clear of something that has a known issue. You want to shop around. Look at a couple cars. Maybe look at a couple different dealerships. We used to drive dealership to dealership. I found one like 10 years ago that I just love, and they're really easy to work with. And so I always go back to that dealership. So, finding someone that you enjoy working with is a real comfort. And you know what? Check out the service department. We want to see, how does that look? Is it convenient to where I'm at if I have to go and get service on my vehicle? Am I going to have to drive forever? Always more things to think about. Okay, So when you're using the web, you want to, keep your options open. I think that, just human nature says, oh, I love the way that car looks on the street. I'm going to look for that. And that might not be the best fit for us. So in the reference sheet, there's, and life of me, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it gives you a little quiz so that you can find the vehicle that's going to kind of have your what you're interested in having. Check them all out. Check out new, check out used, so that you are fully versed in what's available and what you can afford. So it's always nice to go into the dealership with an idea of what you want. It helps them help you. I think that when you're shopping around, you can go to a couple different dealerships, and that'll be great. You might come to a point that you trust the person that you're working with at this particular dealer, and you just go back there. Take someone with you. It helps to have kind of a voice of reason who knows what your goals are, so that they can keep you focused on the features that you said were important to you, to remind you to look at things that, maybe you had in your mind, but then we get excited when we get to the dealership. So it's nice to have kind of a voice of reason with you to keep you grounded, keep you focused on the task at hand. Consider the gas mileage. Like I said, that's a really important feature to me. And keep good records as you shop. If this is your first time buying a car, you may not really realize what it is you're looking for. You just want a car, and you want to keep records as you're looking around. And there is that reference sheet at the beginning, that little checklist, and you can make little notes on there, print out a couple of them or save them on your phone, whatever the case might be, so that you can keep notes and not feel like, oh, let me find this receipt that was in my pocket to make some notes. Come prepared to do that. So when you're driving the vehicle, you found something that you like the way it looks, you want to test drive that. And you want to give it a good test drive, okay? Some salespeople will come with you, others won't. I think it's always nice when you don't have to have the salesperson with you, because it gives you time to explore the vehicle without, watchful eyes. So get in the car. See, can I see everything? I'm on the short side, so having a seat that has really good adjustment and that I can see all the way around is very important. Check your radio, switch it around, choose a couple different stations, turn it off, and listen to the car. Okay, does it make a weird sound? Is it shifting properly? How does it brake? I always slam on the brakes. I'm like, put your seatbelts on, slam it on the brakes. Check both the heating and the air conditioning, regardless of what season you're shopping, because we want to make sure that those base systems are working. It's terrible to get home and you check the air because that was blowing, but then you get to winter and your heat's not working. So you want to be prepared. You want to check all the features, look under the car, check for leaks, know where stuff is. If you don't know, ask. Okay, so we're going to go over what the sticker price means. So when you look at the sticker price, I always look at that big black number in the corner, and it tells me, what the dealer is asking for that vehicle. And especially if it's a new vehicle, it'll give you like all those optional equipments and how much that stuff charges. You want to know what they're asking for, and does that include a warranty? Is it as is? Used vehicles have to have that as is or whatever warranty might come with the vehicle. So take a minute and look at it, at the whole sticker, not just that bottom line number, because in the whole sticker, it's going to give you ideas that, oh, maybe if I looked at a vehicle without this, I might be able to afford it. Or maybe I can negotiate out that, destination charge or whatever you might have. So now we're going to talk about the pricing of the vehicle that's not on the sticker. So it's what the dealer paid for it. We don't know that. Rebate, is there one available? Did the dealer get an incentive to sell this particular make and model of this vehicle? Anything that they're holding back? So obviously, dealers want to make money and they want to get the most for their vehicle. So they always keep a few things in their, pocket that they can pull out for you. But we want to make sure that we're keeping some things in our pocket so that we have a fair and reasonable negotiation. So if you can find out what the dealer's invoice price is or the true market value, a lot of these things are available on kbb.com, bluebook.com, cars.com. So there's a bunch of them, and it'll help you really do your homework so that if dealer invoices this, and this is the average selling point, maybe I want to be able to land somewhere in there. We don't want to get it, obviously we'd love to get it at the dealer price, but the dealer has to make money. So we want to be, a negotiator in good faith and know the value of your trade. So if you are going to trade in your vehicle, have an idea what your car is worth, because obviously dealer's going to lowball you. You are always going to get more money for your vehicle if you sell it yourself. So if you're able to do that, you're able to sell your vehicle yourself and then use that money as a down payment, then that's usually the best way to do it. I personally have never done that. I've always just traded in my vehicle and negotiated on the price. So either way, whatever works for you. So we say this over and over and over again. Do your homework. Know what your loan is comfortable, your pre-approved amount. Aim to pay 2% over the invoice price. Don't settle for something you don't like. You're going to keep this vehicle usually at least 3 years, maybe longer. So get something you like. You don't want to say, oh, I'll live with it, that's fine. You want to be ruled by, your brain, not your emotions. Again, it's a big purchase, might be your first big purchase. So you want to go in feeling in control. The dealer will prey on those weaknesses that we have. They sell a car every day, but we only buy a car, every 3 to 7 years. So you want to not let them pressure you. Don't be afraid to walk away. The psychology behind the dealer is that the longer I make them wait to come up with a deal, the more anxious the buyer is going to be, and they're going to settle. You don't want to be a settler. some things to help you negotiate are to talk to the dealer about invoice price, not MSRP. Don't talk about your trade until the price of the vehicle that you want to purchase is set. You can negotiate them separately. One of the things that the dealer always asks me is, how much are you looking to spend? What would you like your monthly payment to be? And that's because when they're giving you the option on maybe a vehicle is more than what you can afford, they can extend the term. So instead of doing 48 or 60 months or 4 or 5 years, maybe they get you into a 7, 8, 9-year loan where the payment is affordable, but you're going to be paying for a much longer period of time. So you know what you got pre-approved for. So if your pre-approval is, $20,000 and your payment is $350, let's say, focus on $350 for 60 months. Focus on that $20,000 because you can afford that. You're not going to have to go to 6, 7, 8 years to finance that more expensive vehicle. And who knows, that vehicle you might not even have it in 9 years. You're going to trade it in. You're not going to get as much for it because your loan's going to still be there. Another kind of dealer thing is that they'll bring you an offer, you negotiate it, and they say, oh, I have to get the manager's approval. And they may very well be true. But you don't want to be kept waiting for a long period of time. So make sure they know, I'm going to wait a couple minutes. I'm going to wait until, I'm going to wait 5 minutes. If you're not back in 5 minutes, I will go someplace else. Because otherwise, they're going to leave you sitting there. Ask for the best offer they can do. Now, you'd think that they would just give that to you right off the bat, but that isn't the way it works. You have to ask for it. You have to say, is there anything else you can do? Maybe they throw in a couple, oil changes or something like that. But don't be afraid to shop around. If that vehicle's not coming in where you can afford it, go someplace else. You're going to almost always find what you're looking for if you take the time to shop. You want to make sure that you sign the contract, you read the contract before you sign. So that you're not getting extra fees in there that are going to bring up that payment. Make sure you understand what tax is going to be applied and that kind of thing. Okay, so new cars come with a warranty. And it is usually for a time period and a mileage. So, for example, if it's 3 years and 50,000 miles, that means whichever comes first. So if I reach 70,000 miles in 3 years, then that last 20,000 miles is not going to be covered because I went over that mileage. Now, if I'm only at 25,000 miles at 3 years, it still ends, even though I still have $25,000 miles left, the time period ended. So whichever comes first. What does it cover? Is there a deductible? That kind of thing. Usually a warranty is something that just comes with the car. A maintenance agreement is something that you're going to pay for. Do you really need that? If it's something that you're interested in having, shop around. Credit union offers a maintenance agreement. So you don't have to take it at the dealer. You can, shop around and say, you know what, give me a minute and I'll think about that. And then can you take your vehicle do you have to take your vehicle to the dealer for warranties and maintenance agreements to be accepted? Where is that going to be? If you move to Wisconsin, but you have to go to Cleveland to get your car fixed, that's not very convenient. So you want to make sure that you know where you can get your vehicle fixed. So the warranty on used vehicles is usually if there is time left on the original manufacturer's warranty. If you, I buy my car, I only keep it a year, I trade it in, I didn't like it, whatever the case might be. If it's a 3-year warranty, the warranty still has 2 years left. So anybody who buys that car as a used vehicle is then going to get the benefit of that. You want to make sure that you understand what you're getting, so that you can, get a supplemental or, just budget for repairs that you might have in the future. So if you're the second owner of a vehicle that's under warranty, you have to tell the dealer that there's still a warranty on it. They may not automatically know because you're not the original purchaser. And implied warranties have no time limit. So that means that if I say that there's a warranty on it, I have to provide actual terms to that warranty. And any questions about good practices or, things that maybe are not above board, you can call the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, or visit their website to get more information. So the problem with warranties, or if you have a problem with warranties, you want to try to figure it out with the dealer. Maybe it's the manufacturer warranty. Maybe it was something you purchased at the dealer. You want to be able to try and work that out. Now, you can seek mediation. You can go to small claims court, and you can sue under this Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. And what that does is that it's a law, or an act, I guess I should say, that says that if you told me this was going to happen with my vehicle and I've followed all the rules, you can sue under that. And I guess most times you're going to be able to work it out with the dealer. And so this is kind of the steps that you would go through if you're not having resolution. There's also arbitration for disputes. And so you want to make sure that you're purchasing your vehicle and any services from a reputable dealer. Now, you might, go on the Better Business Bureau and see how is this dealer's rating? Because we want to work with dealers that are going to not only offer us a good product, but are going to be there for us if something goes wrong. So a new vehicle is going to come with stuff, right? But it's the extras of where the dealer makes their money. So they'll say, rust proofing, gotta have that. We live in Cleveland, there's so much salt. Your vehicle, your new vehicle does not generally, I'm not a car expert, generally need rust proofing because it already has that. Paint protectant, fabric protection. You're hauling around, a bunch of sloppy kids, maybe you need fabric protection. But think about the things that are probably already built into your vehicle. You don't need to pay extra for these. A lot of them are already an option and you've already paid for them. Okay, so I have kind of gone over, the difference between a warranty. So that's that one that comes with the vehicle. Okay, it's from the manufacturer. Where a service contract is often referred to as the extended warranty. So again, on a new vehicle, you may not need this, but on a used vehicle, you might want to consider it. And know what you're purchasing, know how much it costs, because a extended warranty or service contract is always going to have dollars attached to it. So if you are thinking about purchasing a service contract, does it cover duplicate things? If it's duplicating the warranty, then maybe that's not a good plan for you. Who supports that service contract? Is it only at that particular dealer, or is it a nationwide plan? What does it cost? So the actual cost of the plan, but also, is there a deductible? Is there like maybe it's a reduced cost for normal maintenance, that kind of thing. How are claims handled? Sometimes you have to pay out of pocket for a repair, and then you get reimbursed. So know how that works. Know all the ins and outs. Now your financing options. You've already gotten pre-approved, but sometimes the dealer will come back and say, oh, but I can offer you 0%. 0% is not always better than a low interest loan, because a lot of times when they're offering you 0%, they're not offering you the rebate. So you want to do the math. Call the credit union, we can help you with that. So you want to calculate your overall cost, paying an interest rate and taking the rebates, and 0% with no rebates. Usually it comes out that a low interest loan and getting rebates actually offers you a lower out-of-pocket cost for the life of the loan. Now, if you, my dad worked for General Motors, so I get an employee discount when I buy a General Motors vehicle. And there's not a lot of negotiation that goes on when I'm purchasing a vehicle. And that's where you really want to watch out for those extras that they might want to tack on, because that's how they're making their money. Also on the financing. So loan markups. Now, the dealer obviously is going to want to get as much as they can for their vehicle. And they want you to finance at the dealer. Now, we all know that's pretty convenient, but it's not always in your best interest, because the dealer makes money when they finance at the dealer. They get a piece of that interest rate. They can even add up to, depending on the lender, maybe it's 0.25%, 0.5%, whatever it might be. And so those hidden costs and dealers can add $1,000 or more to your vehicle. So it always makes sense to shop around, know what you're paying, and to take advantage of the best offer so that you're not having any hidden costs. Now, the upside down vehicle. That means that you owe more than your car is worth. So if my car, maybe I took out an 8-year loan so that I could afford that monthly payment, but I'm really tired of driving it at year 5. So I want to trade that in. But my trade-in isn't worth as much as my loan is at. I might still owe $9,000, but my car's only worth $5,000. That $4,000 in between is called negative equity. And dealers, a lot of times, will finance that into your vehicle, your new vehicle loan. They're like, oh, no problem, we got you. And they pay off your loan. But now you're already $4,000 in the hole when you take your new vehicle loan. So you want to choose shorter term loans whenever possible. Don't finance for longer than you plan to keep the vehicle. Make the biggest down payment you can, because that means that your car is going to retain value longer because you already have some money into it. And try to buy a vehicle that's going to hold its value longer. Some vehicles, are more solid or have better records. So this is all stuff that you can research. Now, right now, I'm leasing a vehicle. I haven't always leased a vehicle, but right now I am, because I was able to have a lower payment. Now, there seems to be kind of a up and down with leasing. Sometimes it's a great option because you can get a new car every 2 to 3 years, and you can have a lower payment. You almost always have to have some kind of down payment, which seems counterintuitive because you're putting money into a car that you're not going to own. And so there's a lot of things to consider when you are deciding, is leasing right for you? You have to keep your mileage fairly low. If you drive cross country for a living, you might not want to, have a leased vehicle, because those extras at the end of the lease are quite expensive if you go over what the rules say you can do. So a lot of times people don't think that you can negotiate with a lease, but you can. You want to understand that, maybe you want to get an extra, you don't want to take it for 30 months, you want to take it for 24. It's pretty customizable, but, it's easy for the dealer to offer you like a package. Okay, this vehicle is $350 for 39 months, and this is what it comes with, and you're like, okay, cool. But you can really take the time to know what offers are available and what things are important to you so that you can get the best deal for you. I think that you should always consider gap insurance, because gap insurance covers the difference between what you owe and what your vehicle is worth, fair market value, if your vehicle should have a total loss. So if my car gets totaled and I owe $15,000 on it, but it's only worth 12, my insurance company's only going to pay 12. So that leaves me responsible for that gap, that $3,000. Gap insurance is something that you pay for when you purchase the vehicle, and will pay that off, that $3,000 in the middle. It's a great product, and dealers will push that, and they make a ton of money on that. So if you're considering gap insurance, check out the credit union. We offer that as well, and it's usually, a quarter to a half of what the dealer is charging you. 3/4 to a half, less than what the dealer is charging you. So know what you're paying for. Tips for buying used. think this is why a lot of people might buy new, because they kind of know what they're getting, and they're getting a dealer or a manufacturer warranty. But buying used is a great value. But you want to know what you're buying. Hire a mechanic to check out your vehicle. Ask for the car's maintenance records. They have those Carfaxes that is usually free at the dealer, and you can see, was my car in an accident? Where did it come from? Was it in a flood? That kind of stuff. Was it totaled and the frame cracked? And now it's here and I'm buying it. You can contact the repair shop where most of the work was done on that vehicle. Now you can also purchase a Carfax on maybe cars you're considering, and you can buy them, like you buy one report, you can buy a bulk of reports over a period of time, but it's just a tool to help you know what you're purchasing. So always take advantage of that. If you're buying from an individual, usually you're not going to have as many records if you're purchasing from a record, the actual owner. So you want to make sure that you're asking good questions. Again, shop with a friend and stay focused. So some things to look for when you are purchasing a used vehicle. What does the outside look like? Has it scratched? Did it get a dent? Is that a repaired dent and it wasn't done really well? What does the inside look like? Is it worn, or is it, clean and fresh? Is the spare tire still with the vehicle? Is the equipment there to put it on if, emergency happens? Sometimes we assume that there's a spare, but that might not be the case. Hubcaps, are they, how do those attach? Might they be easily replaceable? That kind of thing. Electrical items, know where the fuse thing is. Check to make sure stuff's attached properly. Does the VIN, the vehicle identification number, match the contract? And, those accessories, make sure they work. Like I said before, check the heat, check the, air conditioning, does the radio work? If it comes with some kind of auxiliary plug, is that working? All that stuff. You want to make sure that everything is the way that you want it to be. Now, some things that the Federal Trade Commission has put out is for used vehicle guidelines, is that warranty again. Is it sold as is, or is it sold with, part of the manufacturer warranty? Is the dealer going to pay for any repairs? So you want to work all that out. Maybe your used vehicle on the lot looks like maybe the tires are worn. You could use that as a negotiation point for them to replace those tires or brakes or whatever the case might be before you take possession. But you want to make sure that you get that all in writing. A verbal agreement is not, it can't hold up over time. So you want to make sure that you get any promises in writing, and keep that buyer's guide that once you purchase it as a reference. We always recommend getting your potential purchase of a used vehicle inspected by an independent mechanic, not the one that's on site with the dealer or the person selling it. If you're buying from a private party, that'd be like, if I'm selling my car, you buy from me, it's not covered by those used car rules. So a lot of the times you're going to want to really, check out that vehicle and when you're purchasing from a person, it is really implied that it is as is and no additional warranties are, applicable. Other things to think about when you're purchasing a vehicle is your auto insurance. So if you owe money on a vehicle, you have to have full coverage. So that's all of this, the liability, uninsured, medical, collision, comprehensive. It's the whole thing. And you need to list your, so if you bought from the credit union, you would just list the credit union as a lien holder, because we have an interest in your vehicle. If you don't pay for it, maybe you don't get insurance on your vehicle. We have to cover that, and we charge your loan for that. So it's very important to have the correct coverage and communicate that to your lender. Shopping for insurance is one of the worst things ever, but it pays to shop around. I was with the same insurance company for probably 25 years. We recently switched and I saved a ton, but it's important for us to shop around and take on that task every once in a while to see if we can save some money and make sure that we're getting the best coverage. Some things that insurance companies look at that you might not be aware of is that your credit score can play a big part in that. So it's just another reason to keep a good credit score. Now, insuring your teen driver can be pretty expensive. Usually insurance will cover them without having to list them on the policy until they get their driver's license. So if you're teaching your kid to drive, you don't necessarily have to put them on the policy because it's going to cover that in between time. But as soon as they get their license, they definitely need to be added to your policy. Your good grade student is going to probably get a little bit of a discount. And it's so important that we talk to our kids about the safe use of our vehicles. So, don't text, don't be on the phone, don't have 15 kids in the car, all of that stuff that's going to make them good, cautious drivers and help them to maintain a good driving record so that their rates won't be high forever. Now, every once in a while, you'll buy a vehicle and it will just be a lemon. So what does a lemon mean? That means that it's not working in the way that it was intended. If you have to constantly fix things on it, some vehicles have certain things that are going to go wrong on them. But if that vehicle that you purchased in good faith stops running the next day, take that back to the dealer and figure out what to do. There are laws that will cover if you have been purchased a lemon vehicle, and you can find those laws for your state at carlemon.com. So what's the best car deal? It's a car that is going to fit your needs and fit your budget. You can control the process and not feel pressured. Paying the dealer a reasonable price so that they do have a profit is what our goal should be. We don't want to rip them off. We want them to be in business and do what they need to do, but we want to not pay more than we need to. So, control those extra purchases, those add-ons. because we really want to get the vehicle that is going to fit our budget and our needs. That's going to look different for everybody. So are you ready to get going? Check your credit score, check your report, make sure it all looks good. Get pre-approved, know how much you can afford and what kind of features that you need and then want. So my last car buying event, which was in January, I really wanted an electronic lift gate because I load and unload the vehicle very often for work. So that was kind of like, oh, wow, if I could have that, that would be great. But if I didn't get it, I would have been fine. I could lift the lift gate, but I ended up with it and I was really happy. Do your research. Know how much you're willing to pay for that particular vehicle. Don't be pressured into making a decision that day. Are they going to hold the vehicle? No, they're going to drive, they're going to sell it. But there's always going to be another one. Know what to look for when you're test driving and how to negotiate your best price. There's a couple more resources. So it's the FTC. I think they're awesome. They have a great website. Check out the Better Business Bureau. Always visit the credit union at unitycatholiccu.org or give us a call. Now, if you're not a member of Unity Catholic or a member of a credit period, you can find a credit union that would fit you at yourmoneyfurther.com. Maybe you don't know what a credit union is. I highly recommend visiting yourmoneyfurther.com just to learn more about the credit union and what kind of things we have available to you. We're full financial institutions that offer a wealth of experience, knowledge, and service. And that's it. Take the wheel, get your best car deal, and my email's right there. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. Thanks for hanging in there. You have a great day. Bye.